We're going to be meeting in a pattern. This is Jimi Hendrix here. Our top issue here is EA32. Phone logged on. Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrix, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Success, Confidence, and Thrive Coach. I wish to let you know that there are patterns to help you receive more, help you live a better and extraordinary life right now. I also believe that there are spiritual and temporal tips to help you overcome the adversities in everyday life. So if you come with me, I will show you these patterns. Get ready. Let's go. We'll be back to talk about phone log, but first, a word from our sponsors. Hey everybody, Jimmy here. I want to talk to you about something that can save you money on your health insurance bills. It's not insurance, it's impact health sharing. Let me tell you something. This is a solution for the healthcare crisis that I've been waiting for. It's not insurance. It's not socialized medicine, thank goodness. It's the best thing that's come down the pike. For more information about impact health sharing, contact an ACN distributor near you. God bless you. And there we go. Come on, Noah. It's a beautiful Sabbath, Saturday morning. I wouldn't be reporting anything business related on a Sunday morning for obvious reasons. Here at the Pattern Nest here for a few minutes. I'm gonna say this, okay? We got chips, dips, bean dip rather. I'm a Texan, guys. Forgive me. And almost any beverage that you can think of within the universal laws in which you obey. I'm sorry I sound so distant, but I'm trying to load up a video by a network marketing expert by the name of Eric Worre. Something he has to say about, some of the issues that we may have with prospecting. It's going to take me a little while to find it. In fact, I may pause and gauge until we do find it. I'm sorry. Don't mean to be so disjointed, but we don't have a lot of time. Okay, we're going to try to keep this short.
Who else has a problem that they're dealing with? You do, sir. Stand up. How you doing? What's your name? Todd, how you doing, Todd? Where are you from? Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Awesome. All right, Todd, what's your challenge right now? What are you dealing with?
Just prospecting. Picking up the phone. I like go in spurts where I talk to people and then I just stop. And I just can't figure out why.
Yeah. So, you were excited about talking about South Dakota, and then you got really, really quiet.
Because I'm not prospecting.
Yeah. So tell me about that. What causes you to get so small? You got really, really small. Did you notice?
I did.
As soon as the topic prospecting came up, you just went, and you got small. Why?
Well, for about 3 years, I went through a divorce. And it was horrible.
Yep.
And when I look back, I think that dragged me down so much that I'm just trying to find a way back up. And it's been a very hard struggle.
Yeah. When did this happen?
It started in 11 and it went through about 14.
2011 to 2014. Mm-hmm. Divorce is a traumatic thing, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah. It's a loss that you have to deal with. Let me ask you this. Was it ultimately the right thing?
In the long run, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, Are both of you going to be better off?
Yeah, it took a long time to talk to her again, but
Yes.
we are, yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. All of us have dealt with challenge. How many people have dealt with heartache at some point in your life? Heartache. You've had a breakup, you've lost a loved one, somebody died in the family. Heartache of some sort. The challenge, Todd, is if you live there,
Yes.
then you're going to be in that emotional, traumatic, difficult state for the next 10 years. The decision that you've got to make is how many years do you want to suffer?
Yes. I don't want to suffer.
You don't want to suffer. How many, because that's the challenge for everybody. How many years do you want to deal with emotional trauma and replay that loop every day to let yourself feel worse, to make yourself feel less confident? Right?
Right.
To buy into, because sometimes there are some harsh words that are said in a divorce, yes?
Yes, very.
And those harsh words, sometimes we can buy into that and we can accept that as part of our being, right?
Yes.
Like you're nothing.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to stop there. Let's say you made maybe one or two phone calls, and then you know that there's a friend of yours you're trying to prospect into the business, and you reach their name in your list, and you're like, don't know what to say, fear of rejection, phone logged. You kind of like, I don't know what to do this. I don't know what to say. Well, we're going to take a little adventure into phone logged land and basically talk about really for the next 43 minutes, if you don't mind. We know the causes, but we need to know how to overcome it. Because I've been told all kinds of things through my, childhood and adult life. Bagelled by, maybe family members, so-called friends. Can't do anything right. Loser! Yeah, I had a college roommate named Charlie Nation. He used to call me a loser because I wouldn't do something that he wanted. And we've all internalized it, that awful looming fear of rejection. And you don't know what to say, and you're going to sound stupid. Look, at the same time, don't be work shy, okay? Don't be work shy. I'm 53 years old. It's been about maybe 2 weeks since I turned 50. No, actually 3 weeks 3 weeks, almost a month since I turned 53. And you would think that I would grow past some of that stuff. But, the last episode that we did, it was actually yesterday, where I talked about how Jesus Christ can be our best friend. He can help you overcome some of that negative self-talk. And, we're gonna talk about how self-talk at some point affects your mindset, but we're talking about phone log. What some people call, phone reluctance. Yeah, phone reluctance. Yeah, I know it stinks. But let me ask you this. How many of you want to be considered hardworking entrepreneurs? You don't want some corporation or the government to determine what your worth is. Right? You're listening to Pattern Realm. Some of you listen to Pattern Realm because you like my entrepreneurial bent. Some of you, I know, you're listening just because of the psychology. And to be bluntly honest with you, the way things are going, I don't plan on having too much of the psychology thing going on because, well, let's just say when I hit phone log about 3 weeks ago, I didn't know what to do. And I approached my upline, good friend of mine. God bless her. She does so much for me already, business and as a friend. I approached her. And I said, I'm getting phone log. I'm getting this phone, as people call phone reluctance. But I like to call it phone log. You made a few phone calls and it's kind of like, I don't want to do this because I don't know what to say and all this. Let me give you some tips for the last about 39 minutes. Number one is know your why. Know your why. Why are you in business for yourself? Be it network marketing or any other type of business. Why are you in business for yourself? Some of it is obvious. You don't want some corporation or the government to determine what your worth is. We all can understand that, right? We all can understand that. Now, let me ask you this. What is your why? Maybe it's to climb to professional heights. That's mine. But it's kind of like my upline taught me. She taught me this. She said, you need a why that's relatable to the people around you. Because if you say something, they know that mine is to be a professional speaker. And they say, if you say something like that, it may not be much that the people can relate to. But if you're saying, hey, I want to make something of myself, and I don't necessarily want to, I don't really want to rely on corporations or the government to determine what my worth is. Right there. Come up with your why and make it sound believable. Okay? Using your why helps you get customers. Helps you get people that join your quest to be a part of your team. I want you to think about that. Determining what your why is. Because it's pretty obvious that we need to know what our why is. Alright? Because that why is your food when you're hungry. It's your food when you are tired of striving, right? How many of you are tired of striving? And it takes less effort to be average. But let's not be average. The first key to learning how to overcome phone log is determining your why. Okay? Determining your why. And one thing that Dr. Delatoro McNeil II says, he says, you need to have strong, compelling reasons why. In doing anything to strive for excellence, to strive to rise above mediocrity, you need to have a strong, compelling reason why. Because if you don't have that why, then yeah, you're going to get phone logged. You're not going to want to make phone calls. Some people, they get nauseated when they think about making sales calls. Me? I love being on the phone. But then there's this, as always, this F.O.R, which I like to call fear of rejection. And your why is your food when you feel rejected. How many of you know that? You need to step into your why and understand your why. This is anything for customer or client acquisition, as well as adding people to your team. Because how can you be who you say you are if you don't have a compelling reason why? See, when I would hit the phone log before my upline gave me the talk, I would get mad at myself and say, Jimmy, can you consider yourself a success, confidence, and thrive coach if you don't even have the confidence to get on the phone and make calls for your business? But it was really an excuse, really, for me to beat up on myself. Do you really want to beat up on yourself? Have to deal with it that way? How many of y'all, seriously, want to sit there and front around, I don't know what, just chill Netflix around, the fixed mindset? A fixed mindset is not going to help you overcome phone log, the phone log problem. Just your growth mindset that makes you want to tap into why. Right? Of course it is. Otherwise, why would I bring it up? Why would I bring it up? So you got to pour yourself into your why. That is non-negotiable. To pour yourself into a why. Alright? I want you to think about this. Your why is so important to you. If you use your why to propel yourself to make your goals, here's another caveat to your why. You need to set wow rewards for when you achieve your goals. Like, hey, if I make such and such amount of phone calls today, I'm gonna maybe treat myself for a few sugar cookies or indulge in little chips and dips and Dr. Pepper or something like that, or even, or even if you've got the purchasing power, which if you work hard enough towards some of your financial goals, then yeah, you can take that vacation to Cancun or the Virgin Islands or anywhere. But you've got to press into that why. You've got to be able to press into that why. Non-negotiable. Okay? Press into that why. Non-negotiable. How many of you want to do that? I hope you do. Because your why is behind some of the reasons why you're making your phone calls and reaching out to customers or clients or potential team members. See, I believe in entrepreneurship that involves a team. Why not? Okay? Now, we're going to come into number 2. Develop a script. See, what I did is that night when my upline was giving me the reasons why, she helped me write and develop a script. It was a script that she learned from an upline of ours. And I developed that script, and I made some calls, and I seemed to score more points with people when I did that script and pervade it with confidence. Okay, and so for the next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about scripts, because that's not just the main decision. Your script tells you what to say. Okay? That's your key part. is being able to have that script to tell you what to say. Because you get phone logged, okay? We all, as entrepreneurs, we get phone logged from time to time, especially if we don't know what we're doing. We love what we do, but we don't know what we're doing as far as getting the other prospects. And you get phone logged, you're like, don't know what to say. I might just give up. Don't do that. Whatever you do, please don't do that. Because you have two things behind you. You have your why, and you have your script. And that why brings you confidence to use that script, tailor-made, to develop what you can. And listen to me, don't you give up. Don't you give up, because the Lord has the best interest for you in heart. Because the Lord understands us more than you can ever know. And He gives us that why. And with whoever is in your team, or even if you're just you, develop yourself a good script. Learn from some of the greats, okay? On how to develop a good sales script. Because you need that. Of course, the script means nothing here in about maybe 3 minutes or so. 3.5, a little bit less than 3.5 minutes. I'm going to talk to you about the last part. And this one is going to take about 25 minutes. Because I'm gonna rev you guys up. Okay? I'm gonna rev you guys up. And I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready because, as a podcaster, when I first formed this, I was kind of aimless. I was depending on the Lord to help me bring topics. And there were times when I wasn't doing the daily podcast grind, when I would go through days of content block wondering, what in the world am I going to talk about? And it's funny that ever since I have joined my efforts with the company, ACN, sometimes the topics come to me. I want you to think about that. Because you see, that's the thing you need to know. Is you get your why down, okay? Get your why down. Figure out what it is, why you want to be an entrepreneur. Why? What is it? What is it that drives you? What is it that motivates you? What is it that gets you where you need to be? Okay? The why is important, okay? That propels you into the success pattern. Okay? That's what's going to get you. You've got to understand your why. That's the most important part of entrepreneurship, is understanding why. Okay? Because understanding why, it helps. It helps a lot. It really does. Second of all, your script. Your script is your pattern to help overcome being phone logged. Your script shows you what to say. It's kind of like even if people reject you, and I've had some rejections. And you know what? That script has made it to where it doesn't hurt as much. I'm just thinking people reject what I have to say. This is why I was just kind of, okay, whatever, next. And that's something that Tony Robbins said to one person that was, going through some serious heartache and trauma, that sometimes you got to say that rejection, heartache, and trauma next. Go on to next. And that's what you got to do if you want to develop as an entrepreneur. You got to have that thick skin. Okay, now you guys ready? because we're ready to rev it up. Number 3, get excited. When you're making those calls, you need to sound excited. You need to convey confidence, because if you don't know, you just mutter through the script, people are going to listen to that and say, no, we don't want anything to do with what you're selling. And you know, the F.O.R. steps in, you get hurt even worse. No, you got to get excited. Sometimes you got to get yourself to laugh to feel excited. And, you know, to be honest with you, it either takes me being around people that are excited about my vision, or if I'm home alone and I know I got to make phone calls, then I play certain recordings I have with my very warped sense of humor, and then after that I make phone calls. Because my upline says sometimes you got to use humor or listen to some humor. And of course, my sense of humor is a lot different than most. I guess I don't know. Growing up in a rough and tumble oil town, you know, the sense of humor is crazy. But be excited. You can't say that you want to be an entrepreneur and not be excited about what you're doing. Keep it pumping. And one of the ways to do that is to develop yourself. I like listening to Zig Ziglar. I like listening to Dr. Stephen Covey. You know, when he was alive, he was also a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, such as myself. And I love some of the stuff he has. He says, you know, we may not always agree, but there's always a common bond, a common agreement. It's not your way, it's not my way, it's our way. And I've always loved what Dr. Covey had to say. His book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that's one of my favorite personal development books of all time. As far as faith development, I like listening to theologians like Dr. Charles Stanley. He's outside the church. Inside the church, Jeffrey R. Holland, Russell M. Nelson, and M. Russell Ballard. M. Russell Ballard, I kind of call him, you know, in my faith, granddad. Because he has some of the characteristics of my granddad, you know, the good characteristics. But, you know, developing yourself keeps you excited. And that's what you got. That's another big element to overcome phone log. Is find something about your business that you invested in yourself in to get excited. I mean, seriously, don't you want to get excited? I know I do. There is nothing like it. I did a paper when I was trying to work on my second bachelor's degree in communications, which, in retrospect, it was a mistake. I thought a second bachelor's degree in communications would be a good step in becoming a professional speaker. Well, you end up writing more term papers than you do speeches, so I woke up and said, okay. But anyway, I digress. I wrote a paper called All Fired Up: How Public Speaking Affects Motivation and Team Building. And I did get quite a bit of information. But the thing is, I got bogged down in the process. And I was leaving the university in 2016. The paper was written from January to April of 2015. And I announced to my professor that I was one of my mentors in the university that I was leaving. I said, I'm going to try to find a way to keep in touch with you. He said, you better. You better. And he said, Jimmy, go out there and be a trailblazer. And so what better way for me to be a trailblazer? To start out in network marketing. Because I learned from a micro level how public speaking can affect motivation and team building. Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, I go to a Zoom call for my team. And at times I'm able to invite prospective team members and customers to attend these meetings. Has it been very successful? Some of them have gone. And others have been like, oh, Jimmy, I don't know. I don't really like this very much. And so, I'm going to be as honest with you as I can. People can think of me what I want, but you got to be excited about what you do. Even if people look at you like you got 9 legs. And 9 arms and a horn, if you know what I mean. Well, people who are different are looked at as crazy. Are looked at as crackpots. But what does it matter? Get excited about your dream. If you get excited and work on being excited, you can overcome phone reluctance. You know another thing that gets me excited? There was one time I was dealing with phone reluctance, kind of early on, and I was watching something that this guy had to say about it. And I don't know, just his tone of voice reminded me. And I shut it off, and I said, Jimmy, you remember, in those early years, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Them kids were calling you midget, square eyes, 4 eyes, knocking you off slides, knocking you off merry-go-rounds. If you can endure that, you can endure a phone call, Jimmy. What's wrong with you? Now that's something, isn't it? So get excited. And if people reject you, reject your message, it's not on you. You have not been rejected. I know that's not easy. That's not easy. But sometimes you've got to have, okay, I'm going dog talk, forgive me. Sometimes you got to have a little tenacity of a chihuahua. And I can hear some people, I was talking about chihuahuas one time. I was having dinner with Bishop Dave and some of his family back in Odessa. And I was talking about my dreams I wanted from business. I told him I wanted a nice house and I wanted a chihuahua. And Bishop Dave said, yeah, an ankle biter. Bishop Dave called it an ankle biter. But no, I like their tenacity because the way that they bark and go at things, their energy. You need to have that same excitement and tenacity and energy towards your business. Okay? Now, we got 16 minutes left. And I want to eventually round it up here a little bit. But I want you to know something. If you can, number one, find out your why. Discover your why. Explain to people your why. If you can do that, then you've got it made. And then use the script. Your script is your pattern for getting sales. And you're going to hit a few and miss a few. When your back is to the wall, just know you got the Lord. And, if you're in network marketing, your team on your side. Just keep on charging like a rhino, right? And it's like I said in the episode last fall, nothing ever stops a rhino. And that means get excited. Get excited. Get excited about what you're doing. And stay excited. It can be easy to say, ooh, hold on. Things ain't working. Let me tell you something. That's one of them, remember, some of you who've been listening all along, you've heard me talk about them critters from hell. Psychologically negative thoughts from the enemy of our soul, Satan himself. He's behind that. So you got to keep that excitement pumping. Or he'll sit there and make you feel terrible until you just shut it off. See, don't let the negativity play games with your head. Zig Ziglar said sometimes we need 11 good positive inputs for every one negative input. So we got to remember that and stay positive, stay excited. I'm not saying that positivity can't have me where I can fly a plane. It can't get me to where I can drive a Mack truck from here all the way to, say, San Francisco, California. It can't have me be like a major league Nobel Prize doctor. But it can help me be everything that I set my mind to. Within reason. We can sit there and complain about how awful things are. We can sit there and say, "Oh, this is not working." No. If you're getting yourself in a business, get excited about what you're doing. And if your friends outside your business are saying, "Kid, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. I don't even understand what you're doing." I had a friend like that. His name was Brad. And I mean, he was using anything and everything he could to cut me down about my business. And eventually he had another friend of mine named Jim Bob that kind of screwed things over with that. But the beauty of it was, little by little, the Lord started removing those people from my life that were just plain negative and wrong for me in order to get me with friends and people that are supportive. You show people that you're excited about your business, even if they don't become your customer going to business to you. In some ways, they'll do anything to support you. They will. And the ones that are not, the ones that just out and out reject you, you're going crazy. Jimmy, what's wrong with you? Don't listen to that. When you get excited, you don't have to listen to loser talk. Some people, with friends and family, saying, "You're crazy. I can't believe you've done this. You've gone into business for yourself. Why couldn't you just get a job?" You know how many times people have told me that? But the thing is, guys, you've got to get excited. You've got to get excited. That's the best part. That is, in reality, the icing on the cake. I mean, seriously, do you want to be excited about your business and grow it exponentially? Or you just want to sit there and the dog goes, it's not working out. So-and-so this ain't gonna work out. Somebody says this is impossible. Or are you just going to get excited and make a way? Make a tree. Make like a door and just get excited. You guys gotta forgive me, I'm wrapping this up and I gotta use humor because in many ways, having why helps. And then making a script helps. But you guys know where I stand on this. You also got to get excited. Because you combine those three, and you work the business good enough, and not give up, don't ever give up, then the chances are that you could be paid, my friends. You could be well paid. And how worth that's up. And sometimes you get knocked down and you need a little lift. Get those. Develop yourself. Watch some videos on YouTube. Get some audiobooks. There's one I'm looking into to get at some point with my Amazon card that I got for my birthday, okay? So, I want you guys to think about that. Some of the beauties of this. I've given you guys three tools. And we're going to wrap up here in about a little over a minute or so. But I want to show you guys my heart. This is the blessing. Okay, so you go through phone log. You don't know what to say. That is where your why comes through, okay? You've got to have your why. That gives you anything and everything that you need to develop. Believe it or not, the beginning of my why, my wake-up call, was when I went to see Bishop Dave and his family in the Salt Lake, Utah area. And then the rest of it just came along naturally. The Lord helped me find a way. All right, now, then you get your script. Your script is your pattern. And you step into that pattern. And you speak with excitement with your script, okay? You'd be surprised how many people will come to your sales presentations or your team's sales presentations. Some people may not even begin to understand it. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you get them to look at it. And the ones that see your vision, like, this sounds great. Those are the ones that you want to roll with. You want to roll with the winners no matter what, right? And then you need to get excited. You get excited. You just plunge in, no matter what. People might say something be critical. You just plunge in, no matter what. Keep it plunging. The Lord understands. Because you have gotten your secret 3 combination. Okay, that's some of the combination to overcome phone log. Now, I'm going to be sending this to some of our, to my upline and one of my cross line, good friend of mine. I'm hoping to interview at some point. All right? Now, here's the thing. It's good to talk about this. It really is, because it's funny. When I was going through phone log, what people call phone reluctance, the Lord said, you need to talk about this. You need to tell people about how to overcome it. I was like, well, I don't know how to overcome it yet. And then what do you know? A few days later, I came across my good upline friend, and she taught me how to overcome it. And she says, I've seen a difference since I've showed you what to do. You sound a lot better over the phone. Now, doesn't that sound great? Now, one of the things that you need to know, or the hearts of those to overcome phone log, you need to make a good list, right? And if you're part of a team, and some of your team are more successful, you need to listen to your team, okay? Please, when it comes to the business world, they're smarter than you are in some ways. Don't try to figure it out yourself. So many gurus and stuff on figuring it out yourself. You just got to figure it out. You know, some gimmick or like something like that. Are you going to buy some gimmick? The chances are not going to work. Or are you going to go into a system that works? Robert Kiyosaki says that the wealthiest people get rich through business. And the way to get wealthy through business is systems. Systems. I want you guys to think about that. You make a list, come up with your why. And then you just get excited and call people. I've had mentors say that they get nauseated when they think about getting on the phone. Me, I don't know what it is. I got bogged down. I got discouraged. Don't make phone calls because I don't know what to say. People might reject me. You got to develop a thicker skin sometimes if you want to succeed. And I know it's tough. Listen, I know it's tough. But let me ask you something. Do you guys remember the episode EA20, Key Lime Pie? You know, the one that has the introduction by my good friend. I'll tell you something. The thing is this. Key lime pie, for me, represents two things. Creativity. Sometimes you gotta be creative in order to get on the phone. But more importantly, discipline and determination. You need that discipline and determination to make it, right? Because it can be hard being an entrepreneur, okay? Being an entrepreneur, particularly in the network marketing space, is not necessarily easy, but you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. At least, to me, it is. It's minimal investment. And my business is it's like a lower overhead, and it's worth it. Now, I may not get very much viewers for some people who don't like my entrepreneurial bent. But I'm not going to apologize when sometimes the bulk of my show is going to be about entrepreneurship. Because there's no sense in me doing that. Because here's the thing. This is the 3 rules for pattern realm. Know your why. Find whatever pattern of success is suitable for you that are set by the Lord. You jump into it. And you get excited about it. You get excited about it. I hadn't found a decent pattern of success yet. Really, it has taken me 53 years of self-development. And you know what? I'm still learning. And anybody in business and entrepreneurship is going to go through phone log. But it takes having the why, having a good script, that's the beginning of your pattern, and then getting excited, and then also discipline and determination. Do you guys want to have this? Do you guys want to succeed? I know you do. Otherwise, why would you be listening to this show? I know you desire more. You desire to have a better and extraordinary life right now. But you can't have it if phone log is getting you. You sit there, don't know what to say. You need to reach out with someone that is more successful and has been where you are to get you there. Because that's the blessing right there. That's the blessing right there. You just step into it. Step into it and learn. Learn from the best. Hang with winners. Hanging with winners is going to help you overcome phone log. Like say you hang out with Joe Schmo across the street and he's not all that successful, and then you go and you hit that phone log. I'm not saying don't hang out with Joe Schmo ever. I'm just saying don't let loser talk poison you, okay? Don't let loser talk poison you, because you can overcome this. You can, and you will. Because you're a member of Pattern Realm and you're stronger than this. And I believe in you guys, okay? Now I'm hoping the next episode is going to be an interview. If not, I will come up with something, guys, okay? Now, God bless you all, okay? I hope you enjoy listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Enjoying Pattern Realm. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can step out, step up, and step in to have what others can't. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. Share this with Mama San, Papa San, and everyone. And God bless every single one of you. God bless you. Love you.